Brother,
Hey,
what's
how you
going on?
feeling? Hey, nothing much, man.
Family,
It's,
family, great to see you, brother.
man, it's been a while.
It has. It
Yes,
has.
yes.
Oh, man. Are we coming in clear? I didn't know because we're on the Starbucks Wi Fi right now. Is it coming
Oh,
in?
you're clear. You're
Okay,
clear.
okay. Awesome, brother. Awesome. Man, what's going on? Tracy, brother.
Man, just living the dream.
Bro, bro, you look magnetic, man. Bro, you got all the information. It's all in there.
Yes, I've been letting them just let it do its own thing, free form.
Free forming, man. You said
Yeah,
connected to everything, attached to nothing.
yes, yes. That's the
Man,
vibe. That's the vibe.
extra realistic, staying vibrant. It sounds like you've been really enjoying like this time of exploration. It seems like,
You
a
know,
lot of
it's
meditation. Yeah.
it's it's been an enjoyment, meditation, just finding myself again and again, over and over, and it's been a journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a journey.
Man, let's talk about it. Since we last spoke on here, what do you feel like has been one of the highlights or one of the insights that you've gathered, through this?
Just
And yeah.
it's the development of the mind. Just the man. It's just so much, and let's say the more information you acquire, the more things unfold. It's like it's surreal because the things you see as normal, the things you thought were normal, and when you see it for what it really is, it changes everything. You know, like it's a whole as things unfold,
Yeah.
you start to see reality for what it really is, and it truly is energy, frequency, and vibration. Yes.
All around, man. So, what's one of the things that has unfolded, or one of the things that has shown itself differently, like that you once saw it one way, but now you see it another way?
Well, I mean everything really, but I can say for one thing, like people in general, like you get to really see like people like are representatives almost in a sense of their frequency of vibration. Like when you speak to people, the way people carry themselves and so on and so forth, the things that people are really saying under the surface, it's like it's mind blowing just to experience the totality of it.
Man, man, do you have an example of one of those times where you heard somebody say something, but you felt that there was something more underneath the surface and you could perceive that or receive that?
Well, let's say there's there's been instances like it's almost like there, let's say certain people you speak to, they're almost like, let's say, they're almost like mediums for their frequency, for whatever the energy that comes through their frequency, and it's almost as if I've talked directly to, you know, the person behind the person behind the energy, the
Yeah.
entity. Let's say I don't like to say entity, but let's say the thought forms, the
Okay.
energy.
Okay.
It's like I'm talking to the energy behind the person, and
Okay.
it's a different conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in a scenario where you're talking to somebody, but then it comes to a point where you feel like you're talking to the thought form or the energy behind the person. Okay.
You say give you a scenario.
Well, how does that level of communication feel differently from like our everyday average?
Well, it's like It's just what they might say to you. You know, the things they might. This, you know, it's like if you're talking to, like, let's say someone that's vibrating on a higher level, they might say something to you that is in alignment with what you're going through at the time, or it's like a message coming through to you. It's it's a whole different feel. It's hard to explain, but it's almost like a message, almost like you're speaking to a messenger. You know, you still there? Hello?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So like I said, it's almost like you're speaking to a messenger. You know,
messenger.
and like from the higher forces, angels. Like there's really angels that walk amongst us, you know, and the life just takes on a different toll the higher you rise, and then you get to see that not only are there angels that walk amongst us, but you know there's the lower forces as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, you really reminded me, Tracy. There were times where I would come across people on the road or on the street or just in my travels, and I would bump into these individuals and have these. It felt like spiritual encounters, you know. And they would
hmm
always have an interesting name, or sometimes I didn't even get their name, but they always had a word for me. And then there were times where it was eerily like it was just it was like it made the hairs stand up, you know, on your skin. It gave you goosebumps because you were like, wait a minute, whoa, 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 you know, what is going on here? You
yeah,
know, what is
yeah.
transpiring? And there were times where I had just a small interaction, and if I turned around and turned back, the person was gone, like they
Yo,
vanished.
oh, that's what I'm telling you. This is what it's like. Like, it's just baffling just to have those experiences, and it's like, man, this is what life really is. And so it's like as you're rising up, you start to see life for what it really is, and that's why don't miss out on those conversations that you could have, you know, because you never know who you're speaking to.
Right, right.
Definitely,
So we never know when we're in the presence of an angel.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Man, if you could recall, brother, what was one time where somebody just dropped something on you real quick and then you like never saw them again and you just had the strange feeling like, wow, that was an angel. You
Man, like it's it happens often. It's like I'll be talking to someone. It's I could be at the park doing my usual work, meditating, sun gazing, and then an individual will come up to me. We'll have a conversation, and it would just be like they're nudging me to continue on the process. Keep going. Like you, we know you got it. In a sense, like man, we're watching. You know, just keep going. And that's how the conversation feels. They might not be saying it, but it's like it's a hint. They're dropping, like you said, dropping little nuggets. Like, yeah, so it happens often. Like,
know?
it's
Wow.
it's for real, definitely.
Wow. So when you receive that, do you just kind of take that as a confirmation or like a proclamation that you're on the right path?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I always feel like it's a yeah, like you said, confirmation. Definitely, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, and like I said, not only do you, depending, that's why it's great to surround yourself with people that are on the same frequency as you, because, like I said, you can also have those other encounters that are not so pleasant. You know, like
Yeah.
the jobs I used to work before, and I'm still, on the same process. You know, rising up with the frequencies, but you can really feel the energy behind the people that you work with. You know,
Right.
it's especially if you're in an environment that's like not conducive to a spiritual being,
Right. Right.
like whatever, whatever you can look at. So some of these jobs, I know that's what makes it hard for me to work these regular jobs. So I do, freelance work now and just be in my own frequency.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And that's necessary, it's definitely necessary at times to just be in your own field, and
Exactly.
I resonate too when it comes to being in those, you know contradictive environments that weren't conducive for the level of conductivity that you're trying to cultivate, you know within yourself,
Exactly.
within your vessel, and grow. So, speaking of encounters, I actually had an encounter today with a gentleman in the comments here. Shout out to Shivi Gandhi, Shivi, and also Dina. She was there. He said Om Nava Shiva, Om Nava Shiva. Yeah, they came over. They came over today, and I was playing the flute, and this lady just came over, walked over to me, Tracy, and we had the most beautiful conversation, the most nourishing conversation. She really laid it on me when it came to, karma yoga. She talked about bhakti yoga. She talked about Krishna consciousness, Krishna playing the flute and gathering the people and,
Hmm.
just emanating that sound and that vibration. And also she talked about being hollow inside, like being empty, and how when the flute is empty, that's how the music can be played. So if we
Exactly.
are like an instrument, fine tuning our instrument, fine tuning our
Hmm.
vessel, and kind of being like a flute, emptying the mind of all the thoughts that distract us, emptying the mind of all the things that pull us down, and allowing that to, you know, music to be played through our vessel, through our instrument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So shout out. Thank you so much, Yogi Vina. She's in there. She's in here. Much love to the information today. Yeah.
That's perfect. It's almost like in meditation, how you just let the frequencies fill you, and that exchange with the energy. It's like like you said, you're an empty cup being filled. So
Right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she even talked about it today, Tracy. She was talking about how God speaks through us.
yeah, exactly.
She was saying like God is speaking through us now, through each other.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
sometimes, other people don't hear it. They might not have ears to hear or eyes to see, but you recognize that frequency, you know.
Oh yeah, if you pay attention, there's a lot of stuff that you can pick up on. Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Namaste. She said namaste. Blessings.
Mhm.
Your own
Mhm.
field. Yeah, that's a great topic, Maurice said. Shout out to Maurice as well. So, Tracy, when it comes to meditation and the daily, the modalities that you practice on the daily and the things that you're growing and mastering, what is one of the non-negotiables? What is one of the things that you say you do every day with that discipline?
Well, of course, I throw two of them in. Sun gazing,
Okay.
I like that interchange because it's like a download. You're getting that, yeah, yeah, definitely. You're getting that information from the sun, and
Mm-hmm.
um and meditation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So sun gazing and meditation, those would be the two things that are non-negotiable.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And the other is the breath work. That it's natural. It's like just breathe a little deeper and be conscious when you're breathing. So I do this. I do that often. It's like throughout the day, you should just, you know, whenever you got the time, every hour, be conscious of your breath. And that's meditation in itself. So, of course, I don't skip on the breath work. And grounding, you can do grounding, breath work, and grounding, breath work, and sun gazing. You can knock those out all at the same time while you're, you know, doing your thing. So,
Right. Right.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, you could knock it out in combination, the
Yeah, exactly.
trifecta. So,
Yeah.
wow, when it comes to pranayam or when it comes to breath work and doing the breath exercises, how have you seen your days go differently when you don't, or when you aren't conscious of your breath, when you aren't as aware?
Oh man, the days could be hectic. It could be, it's almost like time just, it flies almost, It's like, but you know, when you do breath work, you regain some of that control. It's almost like it flies out of your control sometimes, you know, and especially with like the work that I do, it's when I'm not conscious in my body and I'm just paying attention to everything outside of me, it can get kind of overwhelming, you know.
Yeah.
So with the breath work and being conscious, you know, I can slow everything down almost to my pace. That's what
Okay.
it feels like, you know, and I can, you know, move in between and kind of, it's like bring it to my vibration, bring it to my space, you know, versus being all over the place with it, you know. So,
Okay.
because I, yeah, 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 we'll just keep it with that.
Yeah. So instead of being all over the place, you're bringing it to your space. You're slowing it down to your pace, because
Yeah,
it's not a race. You know, it's not. We're not
exactly,
racing out here, right? We're
exactly,
not chasing out here. So
exactly.
I love that. I love that, man. You know, it's like my friend talks about hurry up and wait. You
Mm,
know, it seems paradoxical. Hurry up and wait. You know, be persistent, but also be patient.
exactly.
You know, be consistent, but also be calm.
Yeah.
You know, don't be in a rush to get anywhere, or do anything, or to be anyone.
Nah,
Kind of
you
like it
said it
says in your,
perfectly.
yeah.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. Because if you, it's like, man, there's so much more control when you're in your body and just being aware. Otherwise, you can let situations control you
Right.
and things and the way people feel, you know, like you can get caught up in that versus being within yourself and sometimes just observing as you know, go through your day.
Hmm. Bro, Tracy, you reminded me just now. There's a quote by Bruce Lee that I love. You know, Bruce Lee's one of my favorite when it comes to those legendary quotations. And the quote says, "The most dangerous person, the most dangerous person is the one who is able to think, listen, and observe."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you seem like one of those individuals. I don't know, you know, I don't know about you,
Yeah, I
but
mean this. Yeah.
you seem like a dangerous individual when it comes to being able to think, being able to listen, and just being able to observe and be aware at all times.
When you're in that space of mind, you're able to like I said, pick up on things. You can see the world in a, I mean, you can start to see things in a different way,
Yeah.
especially if you're keeping, like I said, the frequency, energy, and vibration. You keep that in your mind,
Hmm.
and even you know, if you want to throw in the way, if you want to throw in the chakras, you know, just you can kind of see what people are what space they're acting out of, you know, if you just are more aware, you know, definitely.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
get a feel as a person before you even interact with them. You know?
Right. Right. So
Yeah.
the energy speaks. The energy like announces us before we even speak.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely, definitely. You
Okay.
can feel it. You can feel it if you're aware.
Man.
Yeah.
Tracy, have you ever seen this movie called The Prestige?
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
that's one of my top three movies of all time. Of
Hmm.
all time, bro. It's in my top three.
I
So, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
no no Karen, no, go ahead. That was what that's one of my top three too. Next to
Wow.
the illusion, next to the illusionist. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, The Illusionist, that was Edward Norton?
I'm not sure of the name of the actor. You know, I'm
Yeah,
thinking
was that Edward Norton? Because he played the Hulk at one point too, right?
possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Edward Norton, The Illusionist. And so The Prestige was with Hugh Jackman and
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Hmm.
So that was essentially like Wolverine and Batman, you know,
Yeah.
in the same movie.
Yeah. Oh
And
man, that was the movie. Go ahead. Go
right,
ahead.
but
Yeah.
they also had Nikola Tesla in the movie.
Um,
You know what I'm
Some
saying?
of his, yeah, they were speaking on his devices. Yeah.
Right, they were using
Yeah.
his devices, and you know, Lord Caldlow, and or AKA, you know, also known as the Great Danton. he went over to seek out Nikola Tesla for that invention, but it was like there was a cost. You know, there was a price. Of course, there was a price, but there was also a cost.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, you know, not to spoil it for everybody else who hasn't seen the movie, but there was something about Nikola Tesla, the way they portrayed him, where he was just, oh man, he was an artist about his inventions. Like, he really put his all into it. You know, when you talk about energy, frequency, and vibration, and how he was experimenting and testing things, and it became like an obsession. You know, he would never stop until he figured it out. And he told, you know, Hugh Jackman's character, he told the great Danton, like, you know, take my advice and run away from here. You know, go far away from here. You don't want any parts of this. This is not, you know, this is, the ego is never satisfied. Basically, it's never satisfied. Like, this is a never-ending obsession type thing. And he was like, no, I want you to build it. And he basically told him, he was like, I've already started. You know, I've already begun to build it. You know?
The movies like that will have you, like, even there's messages that come through, like if you're able to be observant, it's like, you know, it's like, that's why I mentioned The Illusionist. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
Man,
I saw that.
That movie was, it goes into the mind. You know, to me, to be a great illusionist, you have to be in your mind, you know, like, and honing your craft, because how the movie started, I don't know if everyone's seen it, I don't know if I'm spoiling anything, but how the movie started, it was let's just say there was an old man, he was sitting by the tree, and he just got to doing some magic, or whatever you want to call it, some illusions. And then the tree disappeared, he disappeared, and that's kind of how the movie started. Yeah. And that would kick off the guy's journey into becoming an illusionist.
Right.
And it's like this is where you could be, you know. And that's kind of how I feel sometimes when I'm observing people that are like Peloton and all these guys that are you know, that walk the path before me. So it's kind of, that's how it feels with life, you know. It's like you always get those examples of what you could be if you work hard at it, and if your mind's in the right place. It's always about if your mind can be in that space. Not everyone could be an illusionist, you know. And some of the stuff he did was like, just, they considered it blasphemy inside, right, in the movie. And it's like, the realm that we find ourselves in, walking these paths, like, people will look at you in a way, like, you know, you tell someone about breatharianism, they're gonna look at you like, so many people I tell them about breatharianism and liquidarianism, and they just look at me like, are you serious? You know? So it's like we're walking a path that's, it's the narrow path, and it's unknown to many people. So it's intriguing, you know. So it kind of feels like we're walking the path of an illusionist, in a sense, you know. And really and truly, if you can get your mind in the right space, these manifestations and how we are always manifesting, we see ourselves doing it, and it comes to us, we attract it, magnetizing things to us. It's like we're illusionists, but it's how far you can take it, you know, how advanced, or how, let's say, how well you can develop that skill.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And if you can, you know, shed the blockages, that's what it's more. It's more about unlearning now where we're at versus, you know, trying to learn it. You know, if you can unlearn the stuff that you learned, man, you're a clean slate, and now you can start forming those neural connections to new possibilities. You
I
know?
agree. I agree. Unlearning, unlearning. I love that. You know,
Hmm.
deprogramming to reprogram.
Exactly.
I remember hearing that from like Parliament and Funkadelic. They wrote that in their records. You know, they talked
Mm,
about people deprogram to reprogram. You know,
exactly.
they were telling us. They were telling us in the music. So, you know, when it comes to being an illusionist or when it comes to attaining mastery and being that those modern day masters that we see, like you described, I have two questions. One of them is what pushes you to attain that, and like what area would you feel like you would quite enjoy attaining that level of mastery when it comes to, you know, like they say, the master is the master because they're always a student. You know, they're always
Exactly.
learning. You know what I'm saying? So what area would
Well,
you say?
um, what area would I, like I said, like, I mean, just in general, if you have just the mind, like if you can master your mind, then you could be a mastermind,
Yeah.
you know? But if you can master
Uh-huh.
if you can master the mind, it's like, let's say, the placebo effect. You
Okay.
know, that's the mind, you know?
Right,
There's
right.
also the nocebo effect. You
Right.
know, you can, that's the mind.
Yeah.
And as you go up, you know, in frequencies, let's say a lucid dream. We won't even say the astral realm. Let's say a lucid dream. And a lucid dream, you're controlling the dream, you know? It's like, and when it's explained, you know, the dreaming world is the astral realm. So let's say on the astral realm, you think about it, it emanates itself. You
Yeah.
know, if you think about a person, you can travel to them.
Right.
This is what they tell you about the astral realm.
Right.
So above that is the mental plane. You know, so it's all about the mind in a
Right.
sense. You know, in the first couple of levels. So if you can master the mind, there's, you know, endless possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was one thing I could master, like I said, it would be the mind. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I kind of, you know, I learned, I had experiences, you know, and they were, and some of them were negative.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is what kind of pushed me to like, well, if I've seen the negative side, I would like to see the positive side. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so that's kind of the
Man,
push.
thank you for sharing that because, you know, I love that perspective as well because I remember learning from Elitom when he
Mm-hmm.
talked about meditation being the foundation. He
Mm-hmm.
said he said no meditation, no mind, but when you know meditation, no mind. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
spelled it
Mm-hmm.
differently. So the first
Yeah,
one he
yes.
spelled N-O, and then the second one he
Mm-hmm.
spelled K-N-O-W. So
Exactly.
it's like no meditation, no mind, no meditation, no mind. And then when I just kind of read that out, it made sense to me because what you said, it reminds me of like the Kabbalion, you know, these hermetic principles of all is mind, all is
Yeah,
mental, you know,
yeah,
everything. Yeah,
yeah. Because
man.
everything, and it's crazy. I come to see that everything is mine. You know, everything started out as a thought. You know, before it came into existence. This was a thought. You know,
Right,
everything that you see in reality was a thought before it came to be. Even us, we were a thought. You know,
right.
before we came here. You know, before we were made or created, so
Mm-hmm.
on and so forth. So, like, if you can, let's say this, the only thing that's, well, okay, let's say this. You take a look at the universe, and it
Mm-hmm.
looks like a brain cell. So that's like almost like the mastermind, you know, that
Okay.
universal connection. And we're all just little, you know, cells in the larger brain, which is the universe. But we're only cells because we have these limitations that we put upon ourselves. And that came from the stuff that we learned, the stuff that we ingrained in our mind.
Mm.
So, like I said, if you're able to unlearn some things
Hmm.
and reform that connection with the mastermind, the master brain, whatever you want to call it, the universal consciousness. If you can reform that connection, then you become more of a creator. Let's say that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And you know, when it comes to being a conscious creator, Tracy,
Hmm.
earlier you were talking about manifestation. What would you say has been one of the biggest manifestations that you have witnessed for yourself in your life that kind of blew you away?
It's it's everything. It's crazy because a lot of the things I say, once I find myself in a space, I look around and I was like, man, I was just months ago, I was just talking about this is what I wanted, this is where I wanted to be.
Right.
And because I always try to, I don't know, I'm always processing things in a different way. And I like to take a look at my surroundings every once in a while. And I see that things that I think about tend to come to pass. It's just, and this happens for everyone. Sometimes you're just not aware, you know, like it might come in a different way, you know. But my whole walk, it's almost been a manifestation in a sense. It's yeah, sublime just to look at it from a take a step back and look at it. It's like, and it makes me understand some things, you know, about myself.
You know, as I notice you, brother, since the last time we talked, Tracy, you have considerably more growth, you
Yeah,
know, in all
yeah.
areas, but not just physically, you know, in
I
all
know.
areas. But physically, though, physically, we can see visibly so much more growth. What was your reasoning for encouraging that growth? And
Mm,
also, how has the electricity, how has the energy been changed or impacted as a result of that growth?
mm. You talking about
Yeah, yeah, the hair,
his
you know,
growth?
yeah, yeah, everything, you know.
Well, let's just say let's go with the mental aspect first. Like I started just to look at everything and realize there's something more here, you know, and it's a learning experience. And it's good to take these experiences and learn from them and capitalize almost in a sense. Because if you're not learning from the experiences, then they'll keep repeating themselves, you know?
Right.
So that's why even man, this is my second time going live ever. And my first time I was kinda nervous, you know, but then I realized it's all me, you know. I'm talking. It's almost like, you know, I'm just having a conversation with myself,
Right,
and
right.
I'm observing myself from different perspectives. So, and that comes with, you know, everything. The hair. Let's talk about that now. It's like it's freedom almost in a sense. It's like most people care about their appearance and stuff like that, but really and truly, when you start feeling a certain way about your appearance, it's how you feel. It's not about people around you. It's all about how you feel on the inside, you know?
Right.
So that's why I was able to take this step and go free form. Like the job I work, I'm always in people. I'm always, you know, in the face of, you know, business people, the corporate offices, all that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, this is me, you know?
Yeah.
Let's, so from an energetic perspective,
Yeah.
um, just the qigong, it's like doing you feel, let's say you feel the energy, like it's a whole different feel when you're able to, let's say, when you're able to absorb some more of that energy, when
When
you're
you
able
got
to
the
have,
antennas.
when you got that, that's how I was about to say, when you have more antennas, you know, you can feel that that electricity like you spoke on. So it's electric, definitely. You know,
Wow. So you would say that you can receive more light with the antennas.
definitely, definitely, and it's almost like, I mean, after a while, the sun will give you it will color your hair almost in a sense. Your hair will start to take on it. It looks infrared almost in a sense,
Okay.
just the hue. So it's like now you're able to receive more information the more your hair is connected with the sun. It just
Wow.
yeah, it's a, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a different feeling.
Yeah.
And man, it's even when you're grounded, when you're it's you feel that flow of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just with the, I mean, qigong. After ever since I was watching, I joined an event, that Esso the God.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure
Mark
if it's
English.
yeah, Mark English. I joined one of his events, and then we had a meditation, and
Shout out.
he showed where his inspiration for that came from, and it was qigong, one of Elatom's practices,
Mm-hmm.
and man, I've been doing that for a while now, and just that alone has been an experience,
Yeah.
just to it makes you realize what is really here, like what opportunities you have if you just keep going, with
Mm-hmm.
the practices. Definitely.
Yeah, one of my instructors at one point, I was doing Qigong with someone in downtown Los Angeles. And Tracy, they told us that doing that kind of energy work essentially is like creating your own luck. That's what they told us. They said it's like creating your own luck.
Mm.
You get luckier each time you do it. You get
Oh
more lucky, like like you never have to chase what you can attract. And when you
yeah,
increase the electricity, you increase the magnetism. So
yeah,
you
that's
become very magnetic, you know?
that's what I just about to say. Yeah, because electricity and magnetism, they go hand in hand. So definitely, you become more magnetic for
Yeah.
sure.
Electromagnetism,
Yeah.
like Magneto. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You become
Exactly.
Magneto out here. So when you talk about the antennas and being more radiant, so you're saying it's
Mm-hmm.
more radiant, you're picking up on more radiation because it's even what Elitom used to tell us too about, that the words and where the words stem from. So was it in Egypt or Kemet? Kemet that they talked about Ra? Egypt
Mm-hmm.
was Ra.
Yes.
So Ra, they talked about the sun being Ra.
Mm-hmm.
And, Ra is like radar, radio,
Mm-hmm.
radiance,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man. Yeah. No, this is perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Radiation, you
Yeah.
know?
And it all
So
comes from that one source.
from
Oh
Ra.
man. Yeah. That's perfect. I didn't even think about it like that. But that's perfect though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they say the truth is hidden in plain light. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the truth is hidden. It's hidden in
Perfect.
plain light.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, no, no.
yeah. Oh man.
So, what was I want to say?
Hmm.
No, just go ahead. What's
Yeah, there was one other thing because we talked about the mind, we talked about meditation, and we touched a little bit on frequencies. But I remember you were saying something when we talked about the topic, and you were saying something about restoring the love, to restore the
restoring the
love.
love?
Why were
Yeah.
you inspired to put that?
Well, because like I said, I'm like, and that's perfect. Because love it's a frequency, it's an energy, that can be felt, and it can be felt from a conversation. It can be felt from just an experience you have with out in nature, just cooking. You can feel, you get in this space that you can feel like an activation almost in a sense, a heart in the heart space. So when everyone can see, you know, an example of what is possible when we're just in that space. You know, I think that would change a lot of things. So bringing back the love would be trying to be that example, you know, of what's possible when you're just in a space of love. All these, everything that's limiting us from being more, you know, is against love in a sense, you know, like if we could just, you know, get rid of some of those blockages. And this is not even dealing with, you know, our intestines. That's the stuff of our body. That's another thing. But
Yeah.
it's the mind. It's all these concepts and ideas we built up in our mind that is a blockage. If we can get rid of that, like, man, and start seeing things for what they really are, we would make better choices, and the world would be in a better place. Definitely.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree, brother. You know, Tracy, one of my good friends told me how to spell leader. You know how to spell leader?
Go ahead. I don't know how to spell it, but I
He
want to see what
said
you got to say about it.
he said the way to spell leader is EXAMPLE.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's
And
right though.
and so how do you feel like when it comes to embodying these principles, you know, and restoring the love, how do you feel like you're able to be an example?
All I can say is, you know, the more you walk the path, the more things unfold for you, and we haven't seen nothing yet. That's all I can say. It just it keeps getting juicier. like my like my brother likes to say. Shout out to oh my God, Jesse Tree.
Jesse Tree,
Yeah,
yes, the life
yeah. He's
cultivationist.
always we been talking, and he's always, man. He speaks on some stuff, and we just have these exchanges that are just, you know, it always enlivens me to, you know, pursue more.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
shout out to that guy, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to Jesse Tree, the
yeah,
life cultivationist. He was actually in here. I don't know if he's still in here right now,
yeah. I'm
but
not sure. He
he
did
was
come.
in
I
here
seen him come
earlier.
on.
He was
Yeah.
in here earlier, and I love when he be saying like Buddhaful. You know,
Yes,
he be
yes,
switching words up like Buddhaful.
yes, yes. Or it'll be like the forest is for rest. You
Yes,
know?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
You know what he told me, Tracy?
What's that?
So Jesse Tree told me this. He said about crystals. You know what he said
Okay.
about crystals? Ooh,
What do you say?
he broke it down so smooth. He broke it down slick, like he was slick with it. So Jesse was like, when you think of the word crystal and how we are all like crystalline beings, like we're all like crystals, like crystalline beings. He said, break down the word crystal, and you could say it's like Christ all.
Mm.
That
Okay.
we are all Christ, that we all
Okay.
have Christ consciousness within us.
Yes.
Crystal, Christ all, we are all Christ. And I was like, whoa. I was like, they ain't even thinking like that.
Yeah, man. He's got some wisdom, man. I'm telling you, he's got some wisdom.
And then what you call if you know Perry, who they also call Mowgli, or the plant master.
Okay.
This man talked about the word Jesus, right? The name
Okay.
Jesus. And he said, you ever heard of somebody named Jesus? You know, if you say the word Jesus differently and just turn the G into a he, it says he's us.
Yeah. Yeah. I seen
And I was
that.
like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
It's stuff like that, you know. That's always like it makes you look at it. Just blows your mind when you just see it for the first time. It's like, oh man, that's that's everything, you know. And it's stuff like that, man. If you can just look at things with a little more love, you know,
Yeah.
you see things in a different way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
because with that perspective, you have to look at everything. You know, you can't just look at one aspect. You look at the
right.
whole thing
The whole thing.
and see what it really means for you. You know.
Right. Right. You
Yeah.
know. Oh man. This has been so nourishing, brother. Thank you for this
Man,
conversation, man. Thank you for
uh,
coming on here.
definitely, man. It's been a good convo, man. And
Yeah,
I've been now I'm more chill now. You know, I was nervous to start, but then, like I said, man, I'm just talking to myself. You know, just another version of myself, and
right.
it's it's sublime. You know, I don't
Yeah.
mind. Yeah,
Man, you know, I trust that we'll be able to hear more from you, brother, because you got a lot of information. You got a lot of
yeah,
downloads. You got a lot of
yeah.
light
I
codes,
got a
you know.
lot. I got some stuff for you guys, and you know, I think I'll start putting some more out there. It's
Awesome.
it's I don't know, you know, it's just everything happens in divine time, and let's just say that.
You're right.
And when you asked me to come on again, I was just going through another, just let's say a phase, getting ready to level up, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, man, thank you for coming out the hyperbolic time chamber. You
I'll
know,
tell you.
this
I've
man been
been
like
I've
Goku
been
and
waiting.
Vegeta in the
I know.
hyperbolic. This man be going Super Saiyan up in there. He
Oh
trying
man,
nobody. You know, like
it's sometimes you
this.
have to though. Sometimes you got to take that time, that step back. Like, man, and like I said, you get your mind prepared for what comes next. You know.
Yeah, Tracy said he like Frieza. He said this ain't even my final form.
I'm
You
telling you,
fool.
man. Like, no, it is like I said, it gets juicier. You know, so yeah, more to come, definitely,
Awesome,
definitely.
awesome,
And we got
brother.
to get another game going on, man. It's been a while.
Yes, yes, we will get another game, man. Actually, shoot me the challenge. Shoot me the challenge on chess.com and we'll get that going.
Definitely.
We'll get that chess match going, man. Always a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Like you said, peace and bliss. Appreciate everyone joining and much love. Much love.
Much love. Peace.
All right.
All right. All right. Thank you guys for coming on, showing that support. It's one of my first times going live in a while, and I'm glad you guys joined. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Peace and bliss. Or the rest of your day. Peace.